If they attack, we bomb back. We broadcast like Comcast, and this is Lush Uno on No Jumper, the world's coolest podcast. And with me today, I got a really, really, really enticing individual, you feel me? One word, you feel me? One word, no spaces. Malicious China.
Oh God, Malicious China, aka China bitch.
Sheesh.
Facts.
What's cracking with you, Playgirl?
Shit, just chilling, man. Glad I woke up today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody woke up on the other side of the dirt. It wasn't either one of us.
Exactly.
Here we are.
Facts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With that being said, you are like a very, very fascinating individual. I first became aware of you several months ago. My girlfriend, Germ Free, very talented artist, was like, check this chick out. She's raw. And I was like, yeah, she raw for sure.
Yeah.
But we show each other music all day. Like it didn't necessarily resonate to that degree. Not anything about you. I was like, she's raw, but I just didn't really,
Yeah.
it didn't like, I wasn't captured to that degree. But then when I discovered you on my own, I was
It emphasized it for sure.
It emphasized it for sure. And you popped up. I will give him his props. MJTV, not exactly the most liked person on No Jumper at this current juncture.
Okay.
However, he puts on hard for the state of Arizona, which I don't think you're from, by the way, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Tight shit.
But on his feed, he showed, I came across you, and then me being the dumbass that I am, sent it to my girl, like, check out this chick. He's like, she's all, hey, fool, this is the same bro. Yeah. And no, you're very, very dope, have a very unique style, and I thought that it was, before you become out of this stratosphere famous, I wanted to be the one to give you that definitive interview on No Jumper to get it set off. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the origin story, because I feel like although a lot of the intrigue around you is the aura of mystique that you've been able to sustain, who is Malicious China?
Shit. I mean, Malicious China, she be, just doing shit, trying to find a way to get to where she gotta go, and she just be locked in the studio 24/7 and just making like new shit like back to back. And yeah, besides the music shit, I just really be about what my music says, so you got,
which is a terrifying thought, because you be talking a lot of shit. We're gonna get into the lyrical content, all right? But with that being said, so I was looking at you, seeing the name, obviously Malicious China. People are gonna make the assumption that you're of Asian descent. You're clearly not of Asian descent.
No.
And then like the first thing that people are gonna think, because you're coming out of Arizona, she's probably Latina, but you're not from Arizona, right?
Nope.
Because I heard your accent in one of your previous interviews. You said something like y'all, or you said a certain word. You're from the East Coast. You're from the Northeast for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm born and raised out here in LA.
Oh.
Rampart Boulevard.
No friggin' way. I live a few blocks away from where you grew up.
Facts.
You're a Rampart baby.
Yup.
Okay.
Rampart, yeah.
Born and raised, so you're not from the East Coast.
Nah.
But why? But what's up with you pronounced a certain word that sounded so New Yorkish?
I feel like it's like the people that I'm around with. Everybody that I get along with be from like Chicago, New York. So it's like their accent,
it kind of, you absorb it to a degree.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So you're from LA. So are you Latina?
Yeah, I'm Chicana, yeah.
You're Chicana, okay.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Facts.
There it is. So you are Raza.
Yeah.
Born and raised, Rampart Boulevard. So are you more like Westlake or Echo Park?
I'm between Chinatown and downtown. I'm like right there.
Okay. I used to live in a building called the Orsini. Are you familiar with this building?
Yeah.
It's on Fig and Sunset.
It sounds familiar.
It's like the most burnt
right
building in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's a super trapped out building, but
Yeah.
it's nice.
Decent.
So how, like, you don't have to say exactly how old are you, but are you an 80s baby, 90s baby, 2000s baby?
I'm a 90s baby.
You're a 90s baby. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. So growing up in the 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
that's a really turned up area you grew up in.
Yeah, it was active.
A lot of gangs and stuff.
Yeah, it still is. MS-13, that's where it all like migrated, all that. Yeah.
So the building that I live in, I'm a block away from MacArthur Park where I live. It's a nice building, but obviously you got Zombieland a block away.
Facts.
25 overdoses a day reported.
Yeah.
And then you got a gang of gangs. A gang of gangs. You feel me? MS on this side of the park, 18th Street over here, Crazy Riders over here, Temple Street up there, Burlington over here, Rockwood over. There's a lot of gangs. No disrespect to all the 25 gangs I didn't get a chance to mention. But so what was it like growing up out there? What was your childhood like?
We wasn't even allowed to like go outside, but I mean like growing up like with a family that were affiliated with like MS-13, it's like you're bound to be around it a lot. And that's where it like, well, for me, that's where it originated from. And it was just really active. So that's just what I grew up around with, and it just became like normal type shit.
You're very specific about the MS thing. You've said that twice now.
Yeah.
But you're not Salvadorian or Central American. You're Chicana.
I'm Chicana, yeah.
Right. But that's typically like a Central American gang right there. But you grew up around a lot of them.
Yeah. So at that time, I mean, people started moving out that were like, because that whole block itself was just covered with Salvadorians, like super. And then once people started leaving, it kind of like, but it's still, it was just active at that time. So that's all you just seen, graffiti, the tags, like just emphasized, like right there.
Were your parents affiliated with gangs and things like that?
My uncles, they were part of it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what was your first memory of, I have family members that are a part of this thing that's somewhat somewhere in between a family and a criminal organization, but it's like it's good but it's bad, and like how old were you when you first became cognizant of that?
I was probably like 7. I was 7, 8 when I started seeing that. And I mean, this is granted, like I know how to count my numbers at that time, so when I just see 1 3 13, I'm just like, oh, okay. And my grandma like kept saying like certain things, and I would just like be nosy as a kid. I'm like, oh, okay. So you can just tell like as a kid what's normal and what's not normal. You just get like a weird feeling. So when I seen it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. You know? Yeah.
Were you raised in a religious household?
Yeah. So like, I mean, I mainly grew up with my grandma. She's the one that raised me.
Shouts out Abuelita.
I'm gonna shout out her. And it was more so of a Catholic home that we grew up in and stuff. So it was just like.
So Christianity with special effects.
Christianity? With
special effects. That's Catholicism, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's Christianity, but with a little bit of pa, pa, pa.
Yeah,
a little bit
exactly.
of magic. Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm Italian, so
okay.
Plus Jewish, so that's a bit of a contradiction, but yeah. But okay, so I ask you these questions because there's a demonic tone to a lot of your music, and you have this Gothic imagery, and it's funny you brought up MS because that's a hood that's known as devil worshippers. So was that brought across your desk as a child at all?
For me, no. It's just something that I found along the way. So me, I respect everybody that prays to whoever. I got some family members that turned Christian. Some are still Catholic, like my grandma. Me, I pray to the Santa Muerte. So.
Oh, that explains so much. Yeah. You totally make sense to me, and I'm shook as fuck. Jesus Christ, I'm a personal Lord and Savior. Yeah. But with that being said, no disrespect, you feel me? Okay, so you're into. When did that? If you don't mind speaking on it, because that's to me very interesting. When did that first enter your life?
So for me, I had a homegirl at the time, and she would like pray to her, and I just like would hear just the stories and stuff, and my mom tried to attempt to pray to her, and I just heard just the negative side of things. But I'm like, shit, I want to see what it's about. But for me, when I started praying to her, everything started working in my favor. So I'm like, she's not bad. But I started getting into it. So this was approximately like 3 years ago. So ever since then, I've been like tapped in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask, and you don't have to answer if you don't want. What's your craziest limpio experience? For those who don't know, limpio is a cleansing, I guess, done through Santa Muerte.
Yeah. So a limpia, like with the eggs. Yeah, so what the crazy limpia I had is one time I went to this spot, and this lady, she got the 2 eggs, she put Florida water, cleanse it. You have to close your eyes while you're doing the limpia, and she just like shook the eggs all up and down my body. And I've done limpias with her previously, but this one was different. So when she cracked the eggs, like blood came out of like the.
Oh, you seen the?
It was blood that came out of the egg instead of like usually a yolk is yellow. It was like a clot, like it was like red. I'm like, what the? Yeah, it was crazy. And like she almost passed out while doing the limpia, and she's like, yeah, we need to like have a couple more sessions.
So you got some darkness in your soul.
Yeah, mainly it's like the people that's like around like me and everything. But she says because my energy is so like, it's very like let's put it like a magnet. Everybody's attracted to it. They just want to know what it is. So those like negative like energies are just gonna attract to me like quick. And it's just like you can't control it.
Interesting, fascinating stuff. Malicious China in the building. Okay, this is better than I thought it was going to be. So, did you get in trouble growing up?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I'll get into like a lot of fights, and I'll just be going out when I'm not supposed to and everything. Mind you, I grew up in my grandparents' household.
So it wasn't your mom and dad; it's your grandma.
It's my grandma. Yeah.
Mom and dad, were they young when they had you, or?
Yeah, my mom, she was like 17. Yeah, she was 17 when she had me.
It's pretty young.
Yeah. So it was just like she didn't know, and then I ended up getting raised by my grandma.
Were they American citizens, your parents, when they had you, or? Okay,
yeah, my dad born and raised in Compton, and then my mom born and raised Rampart.
Okay. Yeah. You are. This is why I did this shit. Okay, so why were you getting into phase at a young age? What was the main thing causing these fights?
For me, it was the environment that I like grew up in. I mean, you constantly see like my uncles, everybody getting into like the street fights, gang fights, and they'll be like, come on, jump in. And they'll kind of like push me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I use them. So like when I didn't want to do that, it's kind of like you were like forced to get into it because that's where you're around. And also too, when I reached a certain age, I got like jumped in. So
okay, you are. Oh, yeah. Whoa. Whoa. You got jumped in where?
I got jumped in MS-13.
You might be the first rapper that's been jumped into MS-13 that's ever been interviewed on camera. And the fact that you've never discussed this before, have you?
Nah, I felt like I brought it up in an interview before, but they think they clipped it.
Oh,
I think they clipped
they
it.
looked over. Yeah. We're not glancing over Nathan over here.
All right.
Okay, so you were, because as far as I know, MS-13 don't with rapping at all.
Yeah.
They don't with rap.
Yeah.
They don't with that entire genre of music. That's why every single hood got known rappers. But so what was, okay, I understand why you first chose to get put on that hood, but like what was it like? Like what was it like getting put on that hood?
For me, it was more so like I didn't have a choice. It was like my two uncles. It was when I turned 13. So, I mean, I did understand that, you get jumped by your gender. I got jumped by like 13 dudes on my 13th birthday. So when that ended up going down, it's not something that I wanted to do. And then once I got jumped in, it was just like I was witness to see some shit that I can't like disclose.
Right.
So when that ended up happening, word got around, my mom found out, and my mom goes to my grandma's house banging on the door like, told her to pack her shit, we getting the out of here because she not finna like get into like this environment, it's nah. So we ended up moving out to AZ because she didn't want it to, because my mom's been down that path. So my mom's like, I'm not finna do this because my mom's been through it. So she's like, I'm not finna like have her go through that. So yeah.
Good move, Mom.
Yeah.
Probably saved your life.
Yeah.
So, okay. Wow. So you get put on the hood. Was it your 13th birthday?
Yeah, I was 13. Yeah.
So you turned 13, and what was fading 13 dudes like, first of all? I mean, it's not really fading 13 dudes, just...
Yeah. I mean, you can't, the more you fight back, they knock you down some more. But I mean, I was taught, even before when I was like fighting and stuff, to get up. But the more you do that, they're going to like keep you up. So that's why I got like a rib right here. Because one just like kicked my shit so hard that I left it.
And were they around your same age, or these grown-ass men?
They're grown. They were really grown men. Yeah.
Okay. So what was like, so when you moved to AZ,
yeah,
was there any communication like, hey, like or did they try to talk to you again, or was that kind of
so they tried to contact me at that time, but my mom ended up like shutting it down, like, yo, like, because they're my uncle. She's like, yo, like, she's not part of it or none of that. So they let that shit rest and everything. They're like, all right, whatever, like, y'all lucky y'all over there. You know, just saying like little threats and stuff. So as the years went by and I started rapping and I started hanging around a certain group of people, they're like, we're not cool with that. You know?
Once you're around black people, they were like, it's a razor app. Yeah, I understand that. Not that I agree with that in any capacity, but from a gang perspective and knowing the history of all that, makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I imagine, so you're 13 when you moved to Arizona.
Yeah, I was.
Was that kind of a bit of a culture shock? What part of Arizona did you move to?
I moved to, it was like a decent neighborhood. We moved to Chandler. I mean, that's it's like a nice, like, it looked like suburban. Like, it was cool. Yeah, because.
Looks like paradise compared to the Rampart district.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We had a house and everything and stuff, so it was cool. I mean, yeah, the environment, everything was way different compared to out here. Like, the kids, everything was just different.
Yeah.
So I tried to adapt to it, but I was still, like, it didn't leave me. Like, I was still, like, getting into some shit out there.
Did you kind of feel like I'm the hardest motherfucker in this school? Y'all have no clue. Like, I literally got put on one of the most notorious criminal organizations. I've experienced things and seen things that you motherfuckers can't even conceive of. Is that kind of how you felt? Or?
For me, like, I wouldn't like tell them that like what I like that I'm in that, but I'll like bring up the stories and they're like, what? Like, they kind of like, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm like, nah, like, it was normal to me. I'm like, that ain't shit. Like,
right. Okay, let me ask you this: at what point did being creative enter the equation for you? Like, were you very young and knowing, like, okay, I'm going to be an artist one day, or when did that become?
For me, this just happened like probably like 3-4 years ago, and it was just an idea. It wasn't like I had a specific artist that like inspired me to do anything. It was more so I had roommates at the time that they were rappers, and they're like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if China started rapping? I'm like, nah, it's dumb. They're like, nah, we'll put up a beat, we'll write you your first song and just punch it in. And that's when it just happened, and I kind of ended up liking it. So that's how it started.
Okay, so a lot of people, and this is like the most generic thing to talk to you about.
Okay.
But here we are.
All right.
All right. People be like, she's a Gothic chick that raps.
Yeah.
All right. But they don't understand the darkness is so much deeper in you. You are, I mean, not to say it like this, an MS dropout that practices Santa Muerte. Like, so like the darkness is really in your DNA way more than people realize. But do you, and I've seen you ask this question, you said like, I just like to wear black. Do you like Gothic music, culture, anything of that degree?
Yeah, I like listening to that type of music. I'm open to hearing like all types of genres. I'm not picky, but yeah, that one I do gravitate towards if I'm not, because I can't listen to rap music 24/7. You know, I have to refresh my mind, and I'll listen to like some punk, indie, rock type shit. That's cool.
Well, it's funny because like my girl is obsessed with Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yeah.
That's like one of her, and she was like, I love this bitch, and she looks like Marilyn Manson. That's like, and she means it as a compliment. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, look at her, she looks like Marilyn Manson. Did Marilyn Manson come across your desk like that? Is that even in your repertoire of influence whatsoever?
Nah, I mean, I do see where people can see the similarity for sure, but
there's some Brian Warner in you.
Yeah, some in there. Yeah, no, I'd be with it to like to collab with him or like work with him. That's something I do want to do
but that's not what you grew up listening to.
To Marilyn, I have heard like a few of his songs.
And okay, now that I know you're a Chicana girl, and from where you're from, there's for show. You have permission to sock me in the face if I'm wrong about this.
Okay.
There's for sure some Morrissey and the Smiths in your DNA somewhere. I take that back. You can't punch me.
Yeah.
Is there some Morrissey in your DNA?
There is.
Okay, no, you can punch me. Yeah.
Thanks.
And because, like, what is the connection between Morrissey and Chicano culture?
What you mean, like the music?
Yeah, like everything? Why does every single Mexican from LA love Morrissey and the Smiths?
I have no. See that? I did not know.
Yes, that's the thing. That's a total thing. Every Mexican in LA loves the Smiths, Morrissey, probably The Cure too.
I don't know. I feel like maybe like with the music, it's just like the delivery. It's like, why do people like The Cure? You know, it's the same thing as well. It's just how they sing the song, the melody, everything just combined. It's just something that gravitates you towards them.
I think that
what you think?
There's a lot of like phantasm and ghosts and supernatural
true.
things in Chicano culture that
That's
kind of resonate somewhat with
Yeah.
that type of music as well. So there's like kind of an overlay. I could be wrong, and this is
you're
a
right.
colonizer's perspective.
Yeah.
So take it with a grain of salt. But that's always been my interpretation.
That's a good theory, though.
Yeah, that's how I look. And me, like, so when I was in high school, I dated a goth chick for a while. She was an original Suicide Girl, and she really turned me out on that whole culture. So I
Yeah.
became really into industrial goth bands from like the 80s and 90s, like Morrissey, Skinny Puppy, obviously 9 Inch Nails, things like that. Is that any resonation with you whatsoever? Was that a part of you at all?
Yeah, I mean, right now, like, I do listen to still, like, Deftones, The Cure, everything that everybody already, like, is, like,
Would
hip
expect you to listen
know?
to it, yeah.
But me, like, yeah, Tame Impala, Crystal Castles, like, it's just, the list just goes on with that.
And that makes sense. You're a good 10 years. I'm born 1981. You're probably 14, 17, 18 years younger than me. So
Yeah.
it would make sense that those would be
Yeah.
the gothy type bands that come across your desk at that time, because I'm like,
Exactly.
my frame of reference is like 10 years before that.
Oh, yeah.
But okay. So when people wanted Malicious China to rap, and so your early material that I heard, okay?
Okay.
I want to say, is that one of the songs, right?
Oh, yeah, that's
That's-
old.
We're going back to the origin story.
All right.
The other Back Door is another one, a very early Malicious China.
That's early, yeah.
Yeah. So the sonic tapestry of those songs are a lot more like hipster jerk influenced, I would say. It's like almost like hyphy / post hyphy, post jerk era,
Yeah.
West Coast themed, turned up records,
Yeah.
with themes of you setting up dudes and robbing them. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. You have a song called "The Back Door," right?
Facts.
You're talking about backdooring dudes.
Yeah,
all right?
other people think it's the back door. No, it's not.
No, you're not talking about getting in your ass. You're talking about setting up dudes and robbing them.
Yeah, facts.
What is going on, Melissa China? That's what you was on? Hold on. I have 2 new names for you. Hari Kari B,
Okay.
because you're a Suicide Girl, Cardi B. Or how about wait. I had another one. It was like similar to that. Hari Kari B. We'll run with that right now.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Because Cardi B was backdooring dudes, setting them up, rapping about it,
Right.
and but you're like a Suicide Girl Gothic version of that.
Hari Kari.
Is that accurate? So why are you setting up dudes, and how did that come across your desk?
Well, for me, like it's just something.
And by the
I
way,
grew
this
up
is her
with.
in the past. She's
Yeah,
evolved way
facts.
past this point.
Yeah, way evolved.
She
Now
set me
I
up
just-
right now. I'm set up.
I just rap about it. But now I rap about it. But yeah, no, them stories got truth to it for sure. And I have people that can vouch for it. But yeah, how it just like started is just me just it's not doing it because it's fun. It's because I needed to like find a way, like to get some money. And that's just what I grew up around and like how to do it. So I'm like, okay. So I did it. And it's kind of like one of those things like you go to a store, you steal a shirt. Now because you got away with it the first time, you won't want to keep doing it
Right.
over and over again.
This is the other one. Cardiac arrest B.
Cardiac arrest be
Okay. So, but were you pretty much like getting influenced by, so you moved to Arizona, I assume because you're banged out already and you're like, been through this, you're
Yeah.
going to be attracted to dudes that are more about that life.
I
Or
mean,
people.
that's just who I attract. Yeah, I mean, in the
Your
rap
vibe attracts
industry-
your tribe, right?
Yeah, type shit. I mean, yeah, definitely attract like different ethnicity for sure. But yeah, that's literally what I rap about. That's who you're gonna attract.
So you started kicking it with black guys when you moved to Arizona. I mean, that's the way that statement reads to me.
Yeah.
So those, whoever you started kicking it with at that
Yeah.
point kind of was like, damn, she's an attractive female.
Yeah.
She could probably help manipulate dudes into some setups.
Yep.
And which so many women do.
Yeah.
And instead of shying away or denying it, you're like, I'm gonna make some songs about this.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, because I don't know. Because even when I got into this rap shit, I know I had to put some truth to it. There's people that rap about Like the females, I don't knock them at all. Like the ones that rap about like popping this or doing this. Like me, I'm gonna just rap about something different about what I real life be doing. So when they see a female rapping it, they just think it's light. But that's what I'm saying. Like I got truth to it, and I got people that can like vouch that. But yeah, I had to definitely do something that I wanted to make a story for.
It's funny because you seem like such a nice girl.
Yeah.
When I talk to you, you're super chill.
Thank you.
And you know what? Like that's why, like, when I first talked to you, I was like when I was talking to my lady about you, I was like, baby, like, she reminds me of you so much. She's like so chill.
Yeah.
And she's like, there is no flirtatious energy whatsoever. She's just like a regular. She's like a bro. Like
she's like a bro.
She's like a bro,
Okay.
but you're not like you feel. So were you kind of like a tomboy? Do you feel like growing up at all, or?
Yeah, because I mean, I've tried to like put on a dress. I mean, I'll do it on special occasions, but nah, if not, I'm chilling. Just like baggy shirts, just cozy. That's
You in a
just how
dress,
it is.
I'm like picturing Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
That's literally what it looks like. That's what it looks like.
When did you get your grill? Because I feel like the grill adds so much to your je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
I feel like the grill is like very, very important.
I got my grill probably like 5 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like plans to like continue to build like your grill and your like things like that? 'Cause
I definitely want to add like more like pieces, just different things, like because I want to like mesh the grills. I can't just put like people have like the top and bottom like gold or so. Like I want to add more stuff to it. Yeah.
Okay. So at that point, you're making these. How are you choosing the type of beats that you rap to? Because at that time, it was way more like West Coast sounding. Your earlier
Splurge
music,
type beats.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
my
yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely like how I was with like the certain beat. You know, like the artist, he was cool too, but it was just the beat and stuff. I'm like, okay, it was just slower like BPMs and beats. It was just more that type of beat. But once I started getting into like, I don't know, like once I started getting into like let me find like who I really am, like my sound, because it takes time as an artist. Like people can find their sound right then and there, but me, when it took that time, I'm like, I need it more dark. I need something darker. So once I started like just trying to find these YouTube beats, I just found one, and I'm like, okay, this is the wave I'm gonna go. You know?
And it's crazy because like your old music is cool.
Yeah.
It is.
Thanks.
But like what you've been doing this past year, I really feel like you've come into your own and truly discovered
Facts.
an aesthetic that matches you, not only just sonically, but vocally as well.
Okay.
And your vocal style is pretty much somewhere in between a Percocet overdose and an orgasm. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's what people call it. Yeah.
How did you reach that style? Because for those who don't know, like Melissa's trying to kind of rap like this.
That's true though. Yeah.
It's very throaty. It's very, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you sound like you're about to pass out.
Yeah.
But you still like pronounce your words very clearly.
Yeah.
It's very audible. What brought you to that style? Is it drug induced or is that just
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly like high when I like record and stuff. So that's just what comes out, and I'm like, okay. And even when I'm not high, I kind of like gotta like be like, okay, I got a stomach ache. I'm like, so then that's why I start rapping like that.
you're gonna lean into the stomach ache?
Yeah, that's like
Tummy
my.
hurts.
He'll be trying to call me like Darth Vader and shit. Like this is what like Newport sound like if it was a person.
No, but it's like,
Thanks.
but it stands out.
Yeah.
And to me, like that's really what made you jump off the page of me. It's like,
Yeah.
she sounds different. She looks different.
Thanks.
You're talking about different things, and like the fact that you seem to be, it's like
Yeah.
you're rapping about things that a lot of people might be self-conscious about talking about, but you're very like, this is me,
Yeah.
good, bad, and ugly. Like,
Exactly.
how do you get to a point where you're like putting your insecurities on blast for the world to see and you don't have fear about it?
Shit. Well, I mean, as mentioned too, it's just like I rap about like, yeah, like even the insecurities out loud, this and that. So like when people listen to it, they can rather like, it's like they got options. They with it or they don't, but the ones that do, they know that from me, like if they do their research, like yeah, like it all comes from like a truthful place, and if people gonna feel it, they gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying?
When you first started getting traction on your music, what was like the first like big response? And you're like, okay, I might have to, because people are telling you China, or was that already your name? Was MaliciousChina already your name at that point, or?
Yeah, it was already MaliciousChina.
And that's like known, like, was that some street shit originally? Just obviously you look, you know,
yeah.
you could be a China, you feel me? Like,
yeah. Well, I've been called China since I was like little, so that's, but the malicious was, I just like stamped that like right next to China, so it just emphasizes like what I'm trying, you know, to be, and something that
your
I
communist
am.
ideology, clearly, right? No, just like, so
Yeah.
when did you first realize that, okay, other people actually f- with this, like I might have some traction here?
Me was when people started fucking with it. It was like 2 videos. It was when came out and people were like, "Oh, this is new," you know. But that was like in like my early, like my prime. But now, like, let's say like Body Bag, right? 2 different things between and Body Bag. Body Bag, that one hit over, like somebody posted it on somebody else's page and it hit like millions, and people were like, "Whoa, this shit's hard!" Like, and it was getting more good comments and bad, but even so, like all publicity is good. So when I seen that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's it right there.
How do you deal with negativity and negative comments?
I don't let it phase me like at all. Like if anything, like I'm laughing with them in the comments. I'm like, oh shit. But even so, like they still view it. They still, you know, like I'm still getting like paid for that. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't let it like phase me whatsoever. In the beginning, I'm like, wait, damn, this is like a lot more. I used to overthink it. But somebody told me, like, you know, they still played it. They still watch your shit. So that's the mentality that I carry. It's still positive regardless of the negativity that they bring.
100%.
Facts.
So, you know, people from Arizona, they get overlooked a lot. Arizona as a state in hip hop and just like their music, and they've contributed a lot.
Yeah.
And Arizona's a really, it's kind of crazy, Phoenix being such a big city, so close to Los Angeles, in another state, they get overlooked quite a bit. However, there's like a really defining culture. What would you say is like the biggest thing that people don't realize about Arizona culture? Because you spend a lot of time out there compared to LA.
I mean, I'm not like around the people that make that music, but I am aware of the people, like artists that are upcoming there. But yeah, they do tend to get overlooked. I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, because they're all everywhere. Like they rap about different things, and I'm just like thinking like I don't know what's wrong what they're not doing properly, but it's something that every artist needs to find. You know, they have to pave their way, or it's not original, or it sounds too common, or like carbon copy, like, you know.
Basically, I feel like places like that is difficult for any region before they have their own sonic identity that kind of separates them from everywhere else. Because in Arizona, it's difficult for Arizona and New Mexico because they're right in between California, which has the clearly defined LA sound and the clearly defined Bay Area sound and the clearly defined Sacramento, Stockton, Central Cal, you know, sound as well.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you got Texas on the other side of things, such a clearly defined sound. And then there's these places in between them where it's, you know, a little bit of both cultures combined to a certain degree, but it's not as, there's nothing that really, I can't hear a beat and be like, oh, this is some Arizona shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As of now.
Yeah.
Do you feel, and I feel like one of the things that made you stand out, because I was like, I don't give a fuck what region this artist is from.
Yeah.
But they are very interesting and unique. So it seems like, and like I said, I didn't even know you were really from LA. I saw an interview that said Los Angeles artist, and I was like, oh, they're so out of pocket. They labeled her incorrectly.
Yeah.
But you're really from here.
Yes.
Like in more ways than people fucking realize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's big facts.
And so that's interesting. So at what point did the larger artists, because in between now and then, you've collaborated with a lot of the top underground artists in the game right now. When did things start taking off as to where you're working with these other artists and kind of getting more motion?
When I feel like it all just like it was kind of like in little gaps, but now it's like more consistent now. But it all stemmed from like Lil B reaching out to me.
Shouts to the bass god. We
Shout out
love
to
you,
Bass
Brandon.
God. Oh God, love that
So,
man.
so Brandon discovered you. Is that fair to say?
Who
Lil
that?
B.
Lil B. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did. We did a song, and then after
When was
him-
that?
It was probably like 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like
Okay.
a minute. That was in the very beginning. So it was Lil B, and then it was, I don't know, Jeffrey, and then, yeah, shout out him too.
So before we get into all that, so like, because this is amazing right here.
Yeah.
What was the first interaction with the bass god like?
So it wasn't like in person. It was like he just sent me like an open, and I just got on it. So, I'm
So
like,
he sent you a joint. He's like, he saw you somewhere online.
Yeah.
Hit you up on either the gram or Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
And was like, yo, you hard, hop on this.
Facts.
So that's different than Lil B contacting someone and being like, hey, you hard, let's do some music. He sent you an empty, like, I need you on this right now. What did that feel like? Because I'm pretty sure you were.
That was that was just random. I'm just like, what the it was just random. Like one night I didn't know how to react. I'm like, wait, hold on. I thought it was fake. I had to review the Instagram. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's him. And I didn't know how to like intake it. I'm like, fuck it. So that same night he like emailed me. I went to the studio and I got it done like right then and there.
Were you already like aware of like how important this guy is? And
Yeah.
like this is like the godfather of, I mean, especially for your generation. I feel
Yeah.
like Lil B, without Lil B, there's no Chief Keef, Kodak, and anybody that came after him. And
Exactly.
shouts to them there, you feel me? Love them
Yes.
to death. But
Facts.
Lil B, you know, thank you, Bass God.
Oh God.
Thank you, Bass God, as well, apparently from Malicious China, because
Facts. Shout out.
so when you got, were you like, when you got that empty from Bass God, were you like, oh, this is hard? Like,
Yeah.
and then you're like, did you feel pressure? Like, I really got to tweak on this one right here.
Yeah, it was everybody in that studio. Everyone was like, bro, it's like a Lil B feature. You need to really, you know, because I didn't know my sound yet. But yeah, even so, like, I got that shit done. So it's cool.
Okay. So at a certain point, and we'll get into all your other big collabs and all that.
Yeah.
I've recently heard you say on multiple occasions, I'm a rapper. That's what I do. That's the only, you don't have any other job or anything. This is what you do.
This is what I do.
What point did because obviously the street shit is a big part of your story.
Yeah.
When did you kind of like, when did the street shit turn into like, I can't do this anymore. I need to focus on music full time.
So I had like one of my OGs like sit me down and just like have like a one-on-one conversation. It's just like, okay, so I see that you're making your music and you're still doing this. Like he's just like, you're gonna have to pick one or the other. And I didn't know that I had a choice, but it's just like he gave me perfect examples about like certain people. It's just like, look at this person that is doing both and where he at right now. So I'm like, okay. So he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to like pursue my career. He's like, all right, then there you go. So that's how I move forward.
Did you get in any like trouble? You been to like juvie? You been to like county and all that? Yeah, prison.
No, not prison. I've
Okay.
been locked up though for like some time.
Okay. What was like? What was being locked up like? And if you don't have to say if you don't want, but why did you get locked up?
I got a DV charge.
Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't my first one.
Okay, so you beat your boyfriend up.
Well,
Allegedly.
like my exes, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so and you had to sit down for a while or?
Yeah, just for a few months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that Yavapai County or?
No, so I was in OBJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the best place to be.
No, it's not.
I say that because Yavapai County is probably the worst place,
yeah.
the worst county jail to be in. Like, you know, Sheriff Joe back in the day. I don't know if you know about.
You talk about the tents?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tent City,
okay.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah. All bad over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's Yavapai or if that's Prescott is Yavapai, which is the 520. I know that both of those places are
Yeah.
not cool to be locked up.
Yeah, no.
I'm assuming where you got locked up was not cool to be locked up as well.
It was dirty. Yeah.
And you kind of realize, like, hey, and through your OG, you're like, I have another option. I have better things to do than this. And
Thanks.
do you feel like did you get support from your people, or were there certain people that were like, nah, China needs to stay in the streets. We need her to keep backdooring these motherfuckers. You feel me? It's gonna fuck up our hustle.
Exactly. Nah, I mean, I already like had like my meetings like with them and everything, and I just like told them, but it's just crazy because they respected it, you know. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I just want to make sure everything's smooth, and same thing. Like, and
They were
also,
scared of them curses you were gonna put on it.
Oh God, yeah. No, but even besides like the street shit, even personal, like my people, my family, they support everything I do. So I'm like, okay, cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, did the Lil B joint, did that have the reaction that you were anticipating?
Yeah, that one actually went pretty good. Like everybody was in shock for sure, and that's like what I expected to happen. So
He don't do like that many features like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Lil B, like if he hop on a joint, it's not expected and it's kind of a big deal. And
exactly.
people might pay him for features this or that, but if he's going to reach out to someone like, yo, we need to do a joint.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but that's rare.
Rare as
The rare. The rare. So was that kind of the catalyst of other popular underground fools like I don't know, Jeffrey and things, people like that? Is that where that was stemmed from? That essentially, would you say?
Yeah, it definitely opened the gate for sure, because once that started happening, then that's when they started reaching out to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So that's when I locked in and started doing like my features like with certain artists like after that.
You know, doing songs with Jeffrey, he's a talented dude, but he talks about some really crazy shit in his music. Like really crazy shit. Like one of the main themes of his music, you know, is S.A. You know what I mean? Like, did that kind of come up? Were you like, yo, it's a little bit weird to, you know?
So, yeah, I mean, I called it out because that's what I'm going to do. If I'm like, yo, like, before I work with you, this and that, he's like, it's not real. I'm like, okay. But, I mean, it's business. I mean, if you just want to work and get this song, let's do it, you know?
Right.
You don't have to explain yourself, but yeah, I mean, shit.
But you asked.
I did ask, though.
You asked.
Yeah, he could have easily said no, but he's just like, look, no. Like, I'm like, okay. But, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if he was like, no, it's true. Okay, but y'all did a dope song, and that's lit. And then, like, recently, though, you've, like, been going stupid crazy with the collabs, all right?
Yeah.
Like, how did you and RXK Nephew and RX Poppy come together?
Damn, two different, I mean, you want me to bring up two stories on how we met?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about Nephew first. Or
Okay.
what was first, Neff or Pop?
It was Neff.
Okay, so how did the Nephew thing happen?
So Nephew found me. I already knew about him, but he just hit me with a follow, told me that my shit was hard, and he wanted to do a song. So we ended up collabing. I think I sent him like this is like house music beat, because at that time he was rapping on anything.
He did, yeah, and well, especially he was all about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like dancing Neff, yeah.
Critical.
That was his emoji. You
Yeah.
feel me? It was a disco emoji.
So yeah, so we tapped in on Instagram and stuff, and we ended up collabing on a song. Same thing, like we emailed each other, got that song done, and we just been trying to link for probably like a year, 2 years. But every time when I was in LA, he was in New York. I'll be in New York, he'd be in LA. So the timing was bad. We just met this year in person. Ever since that, just locked in. We've been so that's how we ended up locking in person. So we've been known about each other, and this year's just like, oh, thank God we met each other. And then with Pap, that too, we didn't meet each other when we made our first song. We were both in New York, but he was.
They're from out there, right? They're from like upstate New York, right? Yeah.
So they're in New York. Yeah. So I was out there in New York. Pap was out there. He ended up sending me an open. I sent him one back. Somebody hosted our song together. And then I met him in person again this year when I met Nephew. They were both together.
Which is cool because like there's been, you know,
Yeah.
they're cool, they're not cool, we don't know what's going on. But
yeah.
you rapping with both of them at the same time type shit. So
Yeah.
like which is cool to see. You know what I mean? Like
Thanks.
they're both really, really talented guys, you know.
Right.
And you fit in on music with them perfectly.
Yeah.
So I would imagine when you like met in person, like the vibe and the synergy was crazy, or what?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Nephew's just more so like open arms, talkative and everything. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. But yeah, Pap, he's also decent to work with too. Very fast. They're both really fast. Like on working with music, I'm like, shit. They don't need to write nothing. They just punch in. Yeah. They'll be done in a minute.
What about you? Are you a punch-in type dude as well?
Yeah, if the beat's decent, I can. That's why I liked working with him. It was very fast to get shit done. We almost made like a whole project. So
amazing.
Yeah.
So recently, there's been a new arc in the MaliciousChina wave where I feel like you're really becoming yourself.
Okay.
And I feel like these darker toned beats, particularly like I want to say Philly drill inspired, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Slash Stockton drill inspired beats that you've been rocking with
Facts.
really just bring out the darkness, spookiness,
Yeah.
and your voice. Like, do you feel like when was the first time you heard that sound?
Shoot. I mean, the Philly sound, I've heard it from, let me see, like artists that have like been
It don't
rapping
need to
like
be
that.
artists, but yeah, I mean, like, to me, like, Skrilla is like, a big part of that sound.
Yeah, shout out Skrilla. I just did a show with bro.
Did you? I feel like you guys are like meant to work in some capacity.
I did a show with Skrilla. It was me, Skrilla, Baby Kia. It was
wow.
Yeah, it was the Rare House. They did the show. It was Neff. It was Pap and Zanman.
This is like Zanman too.
Yeah.
This is like hipster Coachella.
Yeah,
like literally. Like what the like
yeah.
That's an insane lineup right there.
Yeah, shout out all them. So yeah, no, that would be like a fire ass collab. But with the Philly beats, that's what's crazy. I've been rapping like that, but people put it in the box because the producers that produce specifically for Skrilla, Kwani, Kia, they all make those beats. Like, yeah, shout out all the producers. Though, like, thank you Timmy, Diddy Broker, and Space Coop, and them. They all make those beats.
And I feel like that is like really conducive to you making the type of music that expresses you the best, because like it's got the darkness and enough space as to where like that raspy gravelly tone has enough room to breathe, and like people are like, your lyrics are front and center.
Exactly.
And you say some really dark shit in your lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You sure? Like,
I'm okay. It's just what I pray to. It's just like same thing with like when people do comparisons with certain artists that rap about that stuff. It's just like it's our cult, like what we pray to and what we actually do, like rituals and stuff. So they try to put it all in a box, but yeah. So that's what it is.
I mean, and if you really, you could tell by now I pay way too much attention, right? Like,
yeah, facts.
Way too much. You're like, this guy.
No,
but
you're good.
To the point where like, listening to Skrilla's music, he mentions deities and things. Like, he said some names where I'm like, I don't even want to repeat this name because I feel like I'm summoning dark energy if I even say this out loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's, and I love Skrilla's one of my favorite artists. But when I heard it, I was like, okay, so now getting to know you a little bit and knowing that like there ain't no faking the funk, you about this darkness. And so it makes sense why auras like yours and Skrilla's would. We need the song, Skrilla, first of all. All right, let's just say that.
Facts.
Like,
everybody's been tagging him like, bro, work with this female,
quit playing,
bro.
Skrilla.
They've been spamming him like crazy.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I think that, so I have to ask, and just to give a little background about myself.
All right.
Drug addict.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, the majority of my life, addicted to drugs currently.
Okay.
Was sober for 3.5 years. Relapse. I like being high better.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good in life, regardless.
Exactly.
But the drugs thing is pretty prevalent. What's your relationship with drugs like?
For me, like, I don't, I'm not the type to like push somebody to do it, but for me, it works well for me. I could function and get shit done. I felt like as long as I can admit that I do drugs and everything. I don't care if people want to call me a crackhead or anything, but as long as I like get productive with my day, I don't give a So
fair enough.
I get shit done.
Fair enough. Do you feel like you've suffered any negative side effects from your drug use?
No, I mean, I've had those like little like baby panic attacks, like, whoa, I think I took too much. but it's okay. It's a part of the trip. Not every trip is a good trip, but everything's just cool. I mean, other than that, it's just what functions for me, So if people want to call me a functioning crackhead, so be it.
I don't think you smoke crack. So
no, I don't.
If I had to guess.
Yeah.
As far as like, okay, so the vocal tone in your delivery changed a lot over the years. You didn't used to like the orgasmic overdose style that you're rocking with now. It's very different. Like, when did that alter, and like when did you feel like you kind of were like, this is me on a record?
It just randomly happened one day. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but everybody finds like their like sound that one day. And me, I was just like punching in the studio, and it was just a certain beat, and I'm like, whoa, okay. And then that's when that female like inside, that's when China like awoken. And I'm like, oh shit, even everybody was spooked. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is it. So I started like carrying it. It's hard to keep that tone for so long, but I've already mastered it to where I can just keep rapping like that. Yeah.
Percocets. No.
Percocets. Cheat code.
What's the biggest misconception that people have about you?
The biggest misconception? There's a lot. I mean, well, what do you mean, like accusations?
Or just like, what do people think about you that's not real?
Oh, they think I'm a dude.
What?
They think I'm a dude because I rap, like, because I sound like one when I rap.
They think you're trans?
Yes, very big.
Really?
On that, yeah.
I never got that from you.
Exactly.
You do, like, the Marilyn Manson thing is accurate, but, like, nah. Yeah. Like, Marilyn Manson kind of looked like a chick anyway, so. But no, I never. They actually think that, or they're just saying that to be slick? Like,
probably that. They're like, bro, like, because I just did a song with a Zodiac, and that song is going viral right now. So there's comments saying like, bro, like, how does she sound deeper than him? Like, how does she like? So they're just like saying all like these, like I said, just like some slick shit. But
right.
It's probably just the tone that kind of has them like, whoa, like, how you guys supporting this trans? I'm just like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally. So do you feel like what's your biggest obstacle right now?
My biggest obstacle right now, like with this music shit?
Yeah.
I feel like it's people trying to put me in a box. Like people don't know where to put it at, because there's a bunch of like names that are reaching out to me, and they're trying to figure out like, what's your genre? I don't even know what to call it. So people are just trying to call like, oh, well, she's one of like these like copycats of these like certain Philly like artists, or she's one of these. So people are trying to figure out what the it is before like they get down to it.
That's so funny because I have such a different perception. I feel like you're the genuine article. You're the authentic one.
Facts.
And I feel like, you know, these industry plant artists like Baby Goth are trying to emulate what you really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like artists like you, My Girl Germ, like these are the people that are really That's which true. The industry has been emulating and trying to copy. Like, does it kind of get frustrating not being understood, or you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to keep creating. I don't give a fuck what people say.
Yeah, definitely that. Like, I don't care what like nobody tries to like label me as, because at the end of the day, look where I'm sitting at. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, like some people, I get it. They're having identity crisis and shit. They don't know what the fuck they are when they rap this certain shit, but they'll find their way. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to mock somebody to find my sound, so I'm not perfect either, but you'll grow to find your way.
It's very difficult to track your influence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, from an outside perspective. Like I could ask you right now what rappers do you like, but I don't care, right? Because you don't sound like anybody. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like you really don't. Exactly. You're in your own category. Facts. There's nobody that can say that they you know, that you bit them or swagger jack them in any capacity.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, so because they hear it, it's so new to them that they just have to, these like fans or these people, they're just gonna put it somewhere. They're gonna try to put it on the shelf somewhere because it's so new. They can't process it. They're like, we have to put this here, we gotta put her there. But not, it's so new to them, they just don't know what to do with it.
How do you find the balance between the darkness that your aura and image permeates and like being a kind person? Because you're a very sweet girl. Thank you know what I mean? You're a very nice person. You can tell you don't want to hurt nobody.
Facts.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you talk about some really gnarly shit. Yeah. You've been through some really gnarly shit. Where do you find that balance?
Where I find that balance? I mean, one, I just don't do it. but the balance between that is just focus on my music, but also tell a story at the same time. You know, because somebody's gonna resonate and they're gonna feel it. So
1000%. What's the next move for MaliciousChina? Are we trying to get signed? What are we trying to do?
Shit. Well, if the opportunity does present itself, if it makes sense, I'll do it for sure. Because I'm not signed or none of that at the moment. I'm just an independent artist. But the next move for me is just still like keep working, just still making music, making projects, everything. And I just dropped a project too. That's just going crazy. It
is going crazy. I think it's called 1017, right?
1017, yeah.
Which, by the way, okay, I have to ask. I know it came out on October 17th. Yeah. All right. Are you as big of a Gucci Mane fan as me?
So I fuck with Gucci. So, but that was numerology though. Like,
break it down.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to be a 444333 ass bitch or none of that, because I'm not. But it's just a number I kept seeing starting from like the new year. Ever since like leading up to October, I'm like, why the fuck do I keep seeing this number everywhere I go? I just see 1017. I'm like, I'm gonna just call it 1017 then.
So that wasn't even, there was no intended Gucci Mane reference there whatsoever.
No, but I fuck with him. I still listen to him.
It's so funny because like this thing started, like I've been doing this for years. When it's 10:17 a.m. or p.m., if I look at my phone and see that time, I have to scream out, "Brick Squad!" Like I have to. It's something in my soul. And about a couple weeks ago, it was right around before 10:17.
Where?
My girl was asleep, and you know, it was.
I did see that video on your story.
Yeah, I had to run up and scream 10:17 in her face. Then she punched me. It didn't turn out that good. But I was like, okay, maybe this is a Gucci reference, but it's not whatsoever. Okay.
People were thinking that though.
It's like some dark witch shit that you're on, right? Some brujeria thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's facts.
Okay. I'm terrified as. With that being said, like, do you feel like at a certain point, if you got offered a deal, but they wanted to change your image up, change your style up, but you still get to be paid to be a successful artist, would you do it?
Nah, I gotta wear black. Like I can't. I don't know. They want me to put pink bows, pink dress, pink that. No,
I'm only signing you with pink bows.
No.
I
can't. Like I don't know. I feel like the label got to accept me for me. Like let's let China wear what she want to wear.
Now, do you feel like do you consider yourself more of like an Angelino or from AZ or like both?
From like out here.
Yeah, are you from LA or Arizona or both?
Yeah. See that I don't know. Like
the fact that you don't know what Angelino means, that kind of says a lot. But
yeah. No, but I just don't know like what to label it as, because it's just like, oh, Arizona artist, but she's not from Arizona. So I'm just like, shit, like I still don't know. Whatever people want to call it, then
I'm gonna make it easier for people.
There you go.
She's from Transylvania, okay? And not like, that's not like a tranny reference.
No.
Like I don't think that's gonna.
Wait.
Yeah, no, wait. I meant like, cause Dracula's from there. All right.
Somebody made a meme about me on the internet. They're like, who let Mavis get in the studio? And they put a picture of her next to my face rapping. I'm just like, oh. And that shit going viral. I'm pissed.
But look, you're viral for several reasons right now. When you first walked in the building, everyone was like, oh, Break Baby, Suspect. They're all like, oh, I know you.
Yeah.
You're her. Because you've been going. What did it feel like? Because I know you've had fame, you've had success, but recently, I feel like this past month, your virality is through the roof.
It's going up. It's crazy.
When did you realize, like, okay, I got motion?
Honestly, when I started going viral over that WWE video, or that wrestling video.
Talk about that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so, shout out to Adrian. So, his name goes by Lord Adrian on the internet. He does stunts like Johnny Dang, done flipped them, broken, put him on the table, all these like tricks. He hit me up. I was doing a show out in Texas recently, and he was out there. So he's just like, yo, let's do like a skit, like let's do some shit. I'm like, all right, bet. I know how to wrestle too, so when we started practicing the stunts, it's a lot of work. So when we practiced it, we ended up doing it at the mall and shit. We ended up doing like that take. That shit hurt like a bitch. But he's just like, I promise
you're
you,
still injured. Huh?
I know, like some parts of my back still hurt. I need to go to chiropractor. I gotta clock in. But so when he shot the video, he even told me like, China, like I just know that this is gonna go viral, and it did. We like, one was like 200 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
200 million is insane.
200 million is OD.
You could like, please don't, but motherfuckers can retire on those numbers. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Thanks. So we hit 200 million, and that's just our video. Everything else, all the other platforms are racking up their millions on the page, and we're just like, oh shit, I know her, like, you know. So that's what started it, and then that's what kind of like people were curious, like, who is this chick? And it's like, oh, and she raps too. So I have like the wrestling community, the car community, and I have like the rap community too. So
you know, there's a big trend the past several years for. Obviously, female rap is cracking and has been like one of the predominant genres of hip hop subgenres for the past several years.
Yeah.
most of the women that are successful really lean into their sexuality and just, a lot. Nothing wrong with that. You
Yeah,
feel me? I
facts.
love what the girls are doing and all that. But I feel like you kind of come from a different angle. You don't really emphasize, especially in your newer music. You might talk about sex here and there, but
Yeah.
like that's not like the primary theme of your music by any means, right?
Not at all, yeah.
Do you feel like that's a pressure that female artists feel like, okay, I gotta be sexy, this or that, and how do you deal with that?
I mean, the females, what do you mean? Like, how do I feel personally about what they rap about?
Okay, so
or-
you got some of the most popular rappers right now. You look at like Lotto, City Girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beautiful women.
Facts.
They're leaning heavily into their sexuality,
Okay.
and that's been, I would say, like the predominant factor in their success
Okay.
for a lot of these women.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're not talented, because they are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you know what I mean? Like, you're a pretty girl. Definitely different demographic and all that.
Yeah.
But you don't. And you might, like I said, talk about sex and things like that, but that's not the primary theme of your music by any
Right,
means. Like,
yeah.
do you feel that pressure? Do you feel like in order to reach the next level, that's kind of something you need to touch on, or what?
No, not at all. Like, I feel like these women, they like to rap about it because that's just how they feel. Like, they want to like put that out there, and that they're talking about like how they, the sex topic with like dudes and shit. That's their niche. That's what they like. Me, I'm a like I'm backdoor you at the same time. So I'm just like it's different. But I do mesh shit like in some songs, but I don't really put emphasis to it because I don't want people to like put me in that category. Like, she's like one of those. Like, no, I'm different. Like, yeah.
No, but like the backdoor thing is almost makes you like a Gothic Chromas. Jeez, Chromas is big on the backdooring.
Yeah.
And like I said, Cardi B earlier, you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
that's to me. Let me ask you about like the morality of backdooring, since you brought it up. I feel like it's important to discuss this. I always defended Cardi B, and people got really upset at me because I was like, you know what? These dudes come to the strip club, they acting like tricks.
Yeah.
For them to get set up by a bitch, like they acting dumb already.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I felt about it. Although like it is janky, I understand it. I've been
Facts.
going to strip clubs for years. I never got set up to that degree. I never, because I'm like, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's f***ed up to backdoor people, or do you kind of like?
No, I've been in that position too because I used to be a stripper. So it's just like, if a goofy's gonna give you all his money and stuff, but then you. Just some females think of it different. Some are just gonna keep it in the strip club, but if we want more from you and we see that you got it, like females with my mentality, we're gonna use it to our full advantage and do that.
But you would never like do anything like? Do you feel like you would go back to stripping or do OnlyFans or anything like that, or is that not really like in your repertoire?
Nah. I got an OF, but I don't like push it or anything. I'm
Okay.
just like, it's just like, yo, if you find it, go crazy.
There might be on the Slundo motherfucking Malicious China OF out there. Just
somewhere out there, yeah.
IYKYK.
Yeah.
But and there's nothing wrong. It's 2024. You feel me? Get it how you live, right?
Yeah, facts. That's what I'm saying. If they find it, then shit.
There you go.
There you go.
What is the next move for Malicious China?
Shit, my next move is working with more like bigger artists and getting more, like content out there for sure with like people, but definitely just keep doing what I'm doing. Just more,
I'm with that.
Thanks.
Any final words for the people for the first really legitimate fire ass Malicious China interview on No Jumper?
Oh God. So it was Malicious China, aka China Bitch. Appreciate No Jumper for having me come out here. Appreciate them. And yeah, shit. Shout out to everybody that fuck with me. If you don't fuck with me, I love you too.
Okay. With that being, is there anything about yourself that the people don't know that you would like them to know?
I got a pussy.
Oh, shit. She's really a girl.
Oh God, I could really call I really call people that could vouch it.
She's a girl.
Oh
She's a
God.
girl. And I'm not getting any trans vibes. With that being said,
Yeah.
I think this is fire. We're about to record a mic drop. Malicious China going crazy. Back in her hometown,
Oh God.
Los Angeles, California.
Big facts.
Yo play a pod de Lush Uno. And we about this biatch out this biatch. Ooh.